Agamemnon finds his capital surrounded by the Trojans, and yet, cowardly as he is, he knows that Hector of Troy has come back to destroy his capital, and Agamemnon will fight to the very last of his breath. What's up, guys? Medjay of Fayum here, and as you can see right now, this is the beautiful city of Minucius. This is one of those battles which I would say is an epic battle. Epic battle as indeed. And you can see right now that the Trojans are leading their siege equipment up the walls. We don't know who's going to win. And quite frankly, why would we? All the men around here are getting destroyed. While Agamemnon's bowmen are trying to keep good order, really, to be honest. Look at it. They're getting destroyed under this full moon, and who will the gods favor? Who will the gods favor indeed? And why would they? The gods themselves have fallen out of favor with Agamemnon. Agamemnon has begun to think of himself as a god. And this is why Poseidon, that once hated Troy, has resurrected Hector of Troy himself. Of course, this is all fiction. This is all lies. This is all a story. A story that was never meant to be told in the first place. But then, what is the myth behind the truth? Agamemnon's men are still trying to maintain order, but they are scared. Because they know that when the gods abandon them,
The foe has sighted your hidden units.
they will be able to do absolutely nothing at all. Why should the gods favor them? Agamemnon was nothing more than a thief. A man who thought himself that he could be the emperor of the world. And what did it gain him? Look at his men retreating. The Trojans are coming, bent with revenge. And the Spartoi, Agamemnon's guards, remain ready to kill any, and I mean any of his men that try to retreat. And this battle will not be decided by luck or favor. This battle will be decided by the fact that Agamemnon can resurrect his godly powers. But who will defend him? Only Hades has pledged to give his allegiance to Agamemnon. But even Agamemnon does not trust Hades, despite the fact that he made a grave mistake. None of this is accurate.
The foe has captured your tower.
This is a different Odyssey that was never experienced, an Odyssey that was never written, and an Odyssey that will never exist. But those are the lies. Those are the myths. And Agamemnon himself awaits, his heart beating with fear.
The enemy attacks
His
the
seat of
gates.
power once destroyed. Now he does not know what to do.
The
he
foe's
awaits
siege equipment
in
has
fear.
been destroyed.
And what else can this man do? He can't do anything. And in the palace of Agamemnon, while he waits and cowers with nothing but fear. And why is he so scared? Because once he sacked Troy, then he burned the temples
enemy
of the
has tried
gods.
to capture the gates.
Then he burnt the temple of the gods. Because he wanted to become the ultimate god himself. And what did it prove to him? Nothing. And the Trojans are coming in, killing and hacking and destroying with revenge filled in their veins. What do they know about Agamemnon's men trying to be cowards?
Wreak havoc!
And while Agamemnon's men try to maintain the breach, the Trojans are sending another force around
The
here.
enemy have captured the gates.
And they have broken through the gates. Look at these units. Oh, we got an arrow right there. Agamemnon's commander currently is sending an army. It's currently trying to maintain the defense, but they're not able to do anything. You can just look here. There are too many Trojans on the wall. Perhaps it should be named Trojans at the gates of Minucius.
You have
And while Agamemnon's bodyguards try to maintain a sense of order, a sense of dignity, they know they can't fight. And Agamemnon's men retreat. Look at them, retreating. They retreat because the Trojans are filled with the favor of Poseidon. Poseidon, the god that made their city tremble 10 times. The god that made Troy quake is now on their side. And was this all because of Odysseus? Did Odysseus hate Agamemnon, knowing full well that he caused the death of Achilles? Of course, Agamemnon wanted to kill Achilles. Agamemnon never liked Achilles. But what is war but nothing more than a set of lies agreed upon? Honor and loyalty and courage, they call it. But what is it? What do they really know about war? What do they know about the gates of Troy being burnt? And who are these? Who are the renowned chariots? Now charge. Now they charge at these weak Trojans that are coming. But even they know this battle is a lost cause. Because this battle will not be won. When Agamemnon went to the oracle at Delphi, the oracle ordained that he would not win this battle and he needed to retreat. But Agamemnon, too proud, too, what would you call it? Maybe too arrogant, decreed that only he could become a powerful god. And just look at it. While his men desperately try to fight out, it is leading nowhere, of course. For what are Agamemnon's men but the very demons of Hades themselves? And they fight in the gardens of Agamemnon's capital. But even they know that these men will retreat. Even they know that. And while Agamemnon waits, he himself does not know what to do. And this is what I'd call an epic siege, where the enemy, consider this a sort of what you would call it, where the Trojans win this battle and they destroy and sack Agamemnon. And if you can see here, if you look at Agamemnon's tomb that has been constructed, the Trojans will bury it deep into the ground. And where is Hector of Troy? There he is, at the walls of Agamemnon's capital. And Hector is filled with revenge. He is killing, he is destroying these men. Agamemnon's archers can do nothing. And they cower. Cower like the cowards they are. Look at them. Cowering. Agamemnon must be regretting the day he employed those troops. The day he promised them. And many of his troops are not loyal as well because they were never paid. They were never paid at all. Agamemnon promised them riches and plunder. But when Troy was sacked, he only made sure that only the most best and noble of soldiers got the best loot. And his soldiers that sacked Troy are the very ones fighting for their lives. And they retreat. They put up a brave resistance, but the Trojans have too many troops. And where is Hector of Troy? Hector of Troy is still fighting.
Ready to serve.
And his archers have been forwarded to go and deal with this threat. But they will lose. Agamemnon himself is nothing more than a coward.
Spears!
The Spartoi are keeping them at bay. Let's see. Can the Trojans win? Ooh, brutal fighting happening over here. Very, very brutal fighting. The Trojans are basically, they are fighting with the renewed resistance, the renewed vigor of this war. And all off. And no one will come to Agamemnon's help. Agamemnon was a tyrant. Nothing more than that. Look at them. For the Achaeans indeed. And they're still fighting at the gates. But the Trojans are beating them back one by one. They will not be able to hold. And while the Minotaur is trying his best, who is on Agamemnon's side? Even Hades even Hades himself knows that it is a matter of time before his troops abandon him. Sorry, before Agamemnon's troops abandon him.
By Ares, your warriors are ready.
The siege of Minucius is well underway. His men are still fighting. And they're still resisting. Perhaps this may be different. Perhaps Agamemnon may win. After all, the nature of the gods is fickle. And the gods at Mount Olympus watch as they await to see who will be the final victor. The Trojans have come in, and they still have more troops. But can Hector of Troy win? Can he maintain this victory? Or will he be too cowardless? Achilles is no more in this world. And while Achilles is in the realm of the underworld in Tartarus, can Hector achieve victory and go to Elysium once again? Because it is very, very difficult indeed, and we will not know who will win this battle. Very, very tough fighting going on here, and I have to say, this city looks absolutely beautiful. All the chariots are being destroyed. Makes you really wish they'd have Carthage or something like that. But as his troops desperately try to defend, the Trojans are coming. And the Spartoi, the brave men of Sparta, given to him by Menelaus, who is now in Hades' realm. Can they hold? The Trojans are coming. Can they hold against the Trojans while their city will sooner or later burn? These men are the definition of toughness. They are from Hades' world himself, fallen warriors, abandoned veterans. And even though Hector of Troy is still fighting to his last breath, he may come again and fight. He may be reincarnated. It will all depend. Hector of Troy himself has come, rallying his men. Rallying his men and destroying these unforeknown archers. Their defense over here has given up. Oh my. There's a Trojan, even the Trojans have managed to come at these walls themselves. They're nearly at the gates at the palace of Agamemnon. And what is Agamemnon doing? He's sitting there waiting. He knows they will come. His bodyguards are there to protect him. After all, who can resist the might of Agamemnon himself? Can anybody resist? Nobody can. Now, Hector of Troy has managed to, I think he's running around the city in circles. I have no idea why. So far, it seems that he is losing the battle. Very well. It may seem that Agamemnon may have the day indeed. And is Hector retreating? And the Trojans are making their way. The Spartoi will fight till the last. And they come, ready, knowing that the hour is at need.
They're turning tail.
The palace of Troy was burned and sacked by these very men. They will charge. Don't hold back, as they say as they charge in. They're just gonna get wrecked. And Agamemnon.
Agamemnon! In short order!
Agamemnon's waiting. He knows his men will stand by him, for he is the king of all Greece. Nobody can oppose him now. Meanwhile, as we go through, it seems the Trojans are beginning to lose the battle. Maybe they will win again.
Swords!
Let the Trojans come.
Spears!
Trojans are losing this battle. They cannot win. Seems that when I had predicted that Agamemnon would lose, it was incorrect. Agamemnon
Onward, warriors!
and it seems Agamemnon will win for today. Victory hangs in the balance. And this has been an epic siege. So, I'll just fast forward this quickly. But it is very, very clear. Agamemnon rests on his laurel, being the evil man that he is. After all, why would anyone oppose him? Why would anyone oppose the king of Greece? It's very clear now. The Trojans may have gotten in, and while Hector tries to fight with all his might, he loses the day. Last of these brave troops will go to Elysium. Ah, yes. The Trojans have finally made their way to Agamemnon's palace, but they find that Agamemnon is not there. For Agamemnon's troops are ready to destroy these Trojans. Agamemnon may have lost for today. No, sorry, he didn't lose. It is the Trojans that are convinced that they are on the right side of history when they're not. They are simply, they will never be. For Agamemnon is the supreme ruler of Greece. But Hector of Troy desperately tries to fight back. He swears he will come back for another day.
Victory is close enough to taste.
It is close enough indeed to
Hades
taste.
has claimed the enemy hero.
Ah, he is brought back to Elysium. But Hector swears that he will come back. After all, how can they oppose? They cannot oppose Agamemnon, can they? Agamemnon is no longer a coward. The gods do not judge him so badly. But in Agamemnon's palace, as he watches and sees his glorious kingdom, he knows that the men around here will never be able to oppose him. Agamemnon is now the king of all Greece. Nobody. Victory is within his grasp. Seat of power lies Agamemnon himself. He will live to see another day.